Yeah, so I love that we can talk about this, because I think ultimately all black people are saying at the end of the day is we don't want to be treated better. We just want to be treated the same.
Right.
We just want to be treated just like you guys. We just want to be treated fairly. I think that's all we're saying.
Just because the Constitution says it doesn't mean it's really happening.
The Constitution wasn't written for us.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, but
It really wasn't.
there's clauses or whatever that's supposed to be like, oh, all equal rights. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
It's,
like, you guys
if
just saw
people if you think that it's not happening, then I don't
It's just a
understand.
bubble.
Yeah.
Like, you guys just saw the photo in my family room of the Lovings, you know, the first like legal interracial couple.
Yeah.
Like, when was that?
Not that long ago.
You know what I mean? Because of that, me and my wife are able to be married. Otherwise, like, that'd be illegal for me to marry my wife.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
There's so many things that just like recently happened. I was just looking at like how many things that women can actually do. It's very recent.
Oh, yeah, I think that
well.
might be a whole other podcast. I would
Sorry.
love to talk about that, though.
I will.
Like, you guys are under fire.
Uh-oh.
Why do Republicans hate you guys? I'm
No,
just kidding.
don't say that. Sorry.
Why do they want to control you guys so much? All right, I'll stop.
Okay, stop.
So, why do you think...
Bye, family. They just hung up.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so challenging or difficult for other white people to get where you guys are? Do you have any ideas or thoughts about that? Like,
Priorities.
Priorities?
Yeah.
I think just being willing to listen with an open mind, not just listen in one ear out the other, to really try to understand and get different perspectives. I think that's you just sometimes,
you have to care for that first, though.
Right. You have to want to be, yeah.
You want to be open to it? They got to be open. Priorities. So it's just not high on their priority list.
No, because they don't get affected. Duh.
Yeah, so...
Duh. Masters, duh. Sorry.
I don't have my soundboard ready. I need to... I want to... Whoa, as fuck.
Wait till I finish taking my drink next time before you do
I'm sorry. You get to spit it out.
I was about ready to.
That's funny.
Yeah, you don't see change with anything, I think, in society until it directly affects people.
Yeah.
You know, like, unfortunately, like with school shootings, that's still, I think, moving way too slow.
It's so sad.
But, like, it's not until, and I always say this, and anybody who knows me knows I say this a lot, is don't wait until something happens to you to get involved in whatever it is. When it happens, it's too late.
Right.
But people don't really like go out seeking for it, though. I mean, it really has to happen to you for people to really care, unfortunately.
Yeah, if we're being real, sure.
I mean, that's a human nature thing.
I would love it, though, if we would get involved in things before something terrible happens, because that's obviously like the catalyst that gets people involved in whatever the thing is.
Well, something's already terribly happened in all aspects of everyone's, I think, political views at this point. It's just keep on talking about it. Don't let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
And the more times we talk about it, the hopefully better it will get.
Well, and I think too, another thing for senators and things like that I don't know that they realize is that all these kids that are, you know, after the Florida shooting, all of them went to their local whatever town hall meetings, things like that, and they were, you know, with their protests, and they were talking about how they wanted things to change, and they did nothing. And I think that a lot of the senators and, you know, House representatives are forgetting that these children are going to be 18 soon, and
they can vote.
They're going to vote soon, and I cannot wait for it, because I think that unfortunately it's not going to change for our generation, but I'm hoping. I think it is our generation. I mean, what generation are you?
Well,
I'm saying like our kids, you know, when I think that's when the change is going to happen. I don't know that we're going to see it in our lifetime. I hope.
I think we are. I think at least with the people that I grew up with, and obviously I've moved around a lot, but with the kids that I see, and obviously maybe I just see good in a lot of people, but I think the way I was brought up, a lot of people I thought were brought up of respecting other people's property and do what you're, supposed to be doing. And I think our generation is there. I just think it's getting past things that, just because it's tradition doesn't mean it's great. Sorry.
No.
Mm-hmm. I mean, some traditions are great to keep around, but a lot are just old and we need to evolve.
So wait, what are you saying right now? Are you guys talking about change happening in our lifetime?
Absolutely. I think it could happen. If you really care about it and it's really our priority, absolutely. Anything can happen. I think so. I haven't met
Why are
too
you so
many
quiet,
people.
Melissa?
Because I guess she's just met the wrong people, I think.
Is it possible? Yeah.
I think I used to be where you were.
Is this the
age
conversation
thing?
where we had that pessimists are secretly huge optimists?
Yes.
You want the world to be
I do
beautiful.
so bad. But I'm just, as the years have gone by,
People are nasty.
they are.
But I think there's so many other
And
people.
there's not as much there. People don't have empathy anymore, and people have it.
The people that I see that don't have empathy are usually the older ones.
Yes. Well, they're just set in their ways, and that's why I'm saying it.
That's what I'm
the
saying, our
ones that are in
generation.
there now, I'm hoping are going to get voted out, and then we're going to maybe hopefully see change in I hope in our lifetime.
Let me ask you guys this then.
Because it will be us changing it.
Right.
My wife says this a lot, and she says that she thinks kind of like all this negative stuff you see like in government and politics, like Brett Kavanaugh and just all the fuckery that's going on. She calls it the last hurrah of that group of people.
I absolutely
hope so.
agree.
Like they feel their powers fading.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to hold on.
Because if you pay attention, and this should give you hope, I think.
Yeah, talk to her.
Don't talk to Hope about getting hope.
Don't tell hope.
No, because
Your name is ridiculous, by the way.
I got a lot of it. Can't get rid of my hope.
I love it. That's
It's
why
in your name.
This is why I surround myself with her, because she's amazing. But anyway,
if you notice, I think if you pay attention, I think the direction of the country, maybe even the planet, is moving in a humane direction.
Absolutely.
Like, even if you don't believe it, you see companies and people supporting it because it's the thing to do right now.
It's cool.
right.
It's cool to be humane and accepting of all cultures and everybody.
But see, that's how we grew up. That's what I'm saying. Like,
You know?
that's what was cool. It wasn't cool to bully. It wasn't, not in my school at least. It wasn't cool to do that. Not in my school, at least. Yes, were there some that, were popular and they were mean? Yes. But it wasn't cool, really that cool to do it.
Yeah.
And people got called out a lot in mine, at least. A lot.
Yeah, so like the I don't know, the tide or whatever the word you want to use is moving in the direction we want it
Absolutely.
to go. And Trump lost the popular vote.
Are we going to talk about him?
Please, let's not.
By a large number. So the country, my dad always told me the village idiot is always the loudest.
Yes.
So those people are making a lot of noise, and it seems like I think there's a lot of them. I don't think there's a whole lot of them.
No.
I don't think there's a whole bunch of them.
You see,
I think there's a lot of them, but I don't think there's more of them than us. Than people who are humane and we just want to be at peace and we just want to live and enjoy life and just accept people and so on and so forth.
Look at their rallies, though.
Which who?
Like anyone's rallies. Who's bigger at this point?
Is
Is it the white
liberal
supremacists?
rallies?
Yeah, I was like, is it the liberals or is it the white supremacists?
I think it's the liberals.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's not, yes, it's scary to see those people. Absolutely. But look at how many people are willing to come out at that
Did you
point.
ever get the chance to go to a Barack Obama rally?
Oh, yes.
You did?
I campaigned for him.
What was the crowd like?
I was like from here to there from Barack Obama at one of his. I have a picture of me
that's
that far
cool.
from the podium from him standing. It was amazing. It's amazing. It was like the best time. Everybody was so full of hope. He just brought such an amazing message. Yeah, like
that's so cool.
People were so motivated, and we were all about trying to get change happening, which we did for a little while. Unfortunately, I feel like this administration is trying to bring that back, but it was amazing.
They're trying to kill everything he ever did.
It's one of those things where everybody was so. I just felt like it was such a great time because we were all so empathetic with each other, and everybody was so motivated and so happy, and everybody was working together, and it wasn't like you're a Republican, and that's what Obama, he didn't make it about you're this or you're that, you're on this side or you're on that side. We just want what's best, which is almost like, and I don't even want to bring politics into this because I feel like this might tune people out and they might roll their eyes and turn it off. But I'm
about to bring it back.
But
so
Beto O'Rourke he reminds me of him in a little bit in that aspect because.
Okay, wait.
Can we?
No, I'm sorry. Don't wait. No, continue.
But he's along the same lines of the message, like keeping having it not be about one side or the other. Let's do what's best for each other, and that's what it should be about. Like,
yeah. Hold on to your thought,
okay?
Because I want to hear it. But I remember going to a Barack Obama rally in Columbus, and there's this street in Columbus. It's High Street, and it's like the main street. And my Main Street is always busy. There's always cars. It's the main street. I think it was called High Street, actually. And he came to Columbus, and I had never in my life seen that many people in Columbus anywhere.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
Like, they had jumbotrons.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And it was everybody. It was white, black, Muslim, Chinese. It was. I was like, what is happening?
Yep.
I had
the best thing ever.
Never seen anything like it.
Yep.
But back to Beto. I was talking to she's the fucking Angel today about that, and we were saying who's going to run for president in the next election against Trump. Who has the energy? Who can do it? And Angel was like, we want Beto to run. And she was saying that do we want him to lose?
Oh.
The Senate against Ted Cruz?
I see.
So he could run for president?
Oh.
And he came out and said that he wouldn't do that. Or he said he was going to run for president. But I don't know who else we have.
Wait, what?
Beto came out and said that he's not going to run for president.
Oh, he's not going. I thought you were saying he was. I was like, I'm
sorry,
no.
He said he's not going to run. Which I understand why he would say that, because he's trying to win the Senate race against Ted Cruz. And not the Senate is important, very important, because they can, him or the House, they can block shit for the president. But like you were saying, Beto, people are starting to say he's reminding people of Obama, and I would vote for him for president. That's all I want to say. He gets me excited.
Yeah.
All I know is that I'm very sad because when Barack Obama was running, I was still living. Let me not say that. I was still hardcore Republican.
She was not woke yet.
No, it was
No,
not.
because I was just saying earlier in the conversation, me and you didn't really get there until the shooting in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm really sad about it because I did have a hard time with voting, obviously. But I also was kind of like forced to watch a documentary about how Obama was going to ruin the country, and that scared me.
Fear, that's what they do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that was the whole thing, and I'm so sad that I missed all that love and joy. No.
Oh, you didn't get to participate in that.
I didn't. And
I
it
was
makes me
dancing
so
when he got elected.
Oh, I was so.
And the only person I tried to vote for
gosh.
last time lost. So it makes me sad. I didn't get to go through all that whole winning thing. But Beto is my guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay, but I'm excited about him.
I just assumed everybody got to participate in that.
No, not me.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm woke now.
I don't know. You guys speak for yourself, but like when Barack Obama got elected president, it was the first time, me personally, I actually felt proud to be an American.
That's amazing.
I had never, like, people, they teach that in like grade school, and you say the Pledge of Allegiance and all that. It's just what you do. Mm-hmm. But when that happened, I was like, I actually feel proud to be an American right now. Like, I'm actually very proud of being, I'm like legit proud right now.
I think everyone has that experience though as an American. I mean, I remember when I felt that way. Did you ever feel that? Like, did you ever have like a revelation of being proud? Do you ever remember?
Like, this country just did something amazing.
When Barack Obama
was it Barack Obama?
Yes.
Oh, really? So mine was like really when I was younger, I guess.
How, Melissa? How?
I don't know.
How did that happen to you?
I told you I
You believed him.
I believed in him and his message and everything, and like I said, I campaigned for. I knocked on people's doors at their houses. Aww. I went door to door for him, and I campaigned for him. Like he brought so much excitement and energy that things were going to turn around and things were going to be good, and we're going to start doing good in this world, and we're not going to make it all about let's keep lifting up the rich and keep the poor down. We're going to help everyone and give everyone an equal opportunity. And that he
here I am pissed that he's using my name on all his bumper stickers.
Oh my God, I love those. Yeah, I hope that was his campaign.
Oh
yes, I had one of those. I had one of those on my car.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. I was like, don't use my name.
I'm so sad.
Consulted with you.
I know, it's so sad.
I wish I knew you sooner. I would have turned you. I would have woke you.
No, I mean, it's
I don't know if I could
journey, but
yeah.
I don't want to sit here and gush over it, but it was an amazing.
I'm glad y'all had that experience.
It was an amazing time. I mean, it was. I can obviously speak to why Black people were so excited. So, but it's interesting to hear you talk about it. And why it was so moving to you, and that's just neat.
It is. That a white girl could have the same excitement.
a lot of white people, because I saw a lot of white people at these rallies and stuff. So I mean, a lot of people got to participate in it. Mm-hmm. I think Barack Obama, and you can tell me what you think about it, or what you thought. Like, when he would speak, he could move me to tears with his speech. And I remember thinking here, I think the one speech he gave when when that whole controversy happened with his pastor at the church, that speech he gave about that, where he's talking about how he couldn't disown the pastor anymore, that he could disown his mother, his white mother, or something like that. I remember that being one of the best speeches I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh my God, he's our Martin Luther King.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Hang on.
I'm going to have to just send it to you.
At first I thought you were talking about, like, people were trying to say he wasn't Christian or he was Muslim or something.
Yeah, they tried to pin it back. And they could never pin him in a corner. He always, like, fought his way out of that shit and just took people to a whole other place, like Michelle says.
Here's my thing. What is it? Who cares? What does it
because
matter
it matters
what
because
his religion is? What does it matter?
It's what the country was brought up on.
Because the country's Christian.
Correct.
Okay,
that's a whole other podcast.
That's fine. Anyways, that's okay. Yeah.
That's on the podcast. I love how we're gushing about.
Oh, I know.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I could go on.
No, I do like him. I do. I don't want people to think I don't like. I absolutely do. I just wish I liked him at that time.
Yes.
I wish I actually listened. I didn't listen to it.
I'm going to try to find this picture really quick. I'm so sorry.
I never listened to it.
Oh, you're looking for the picture at the rally?
Just so you can see how, like, close that I was.
My wife got real excited because she got to shake his hand. And she was like, he has the softest hands.
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing.
Shut up.
He's just one of those people, like, when he speaks, there we go. When he speaks, you just...
Looks like a photo from a website or a campaign.
Yeah, like you're so close.
Yeah, like he was right there.
So jealous.
But you just can't not. I feel like stop and listen to him. There's just something about him. He just has that.
Oh, see, the whole difference is that I was so. I don't know how to explain that. So hard to explain.
Well, it was probably ingrained in you to not.
I would turn his speeches off just like if I was listening to Trump right now.
Right. Like,
and it makes me really sad.
How did that happen? Was that I guess you don't have to say.
No, I can't.
Okay. But that was
my absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
He's awful. That's what I was brought up with. And it makes me sad.
You clearly think that was wrong now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I miss that whole thing.
I don't want to assume.
But it comes down to, I mean, people have their views, and sometimes people have views they don't know why. It's just because this is what they were told, and you don't think to go and think for yourself and look things up and say, all right, let me look at the other side,
right,
so I can have the entire picture,
right,
and then I can make my educated decision based on the entire picture and all of the information. Mm-hmm. You know, if you educate yourself on everything and then you still feel the same way, fantastic. That's how you feel. That's your opinion. Great.
Right.
But just be open to hearing and really listening to the other perspective, the other side of it. You know, and if you, and like I said, if you feel the same way, great. If you don't, then you know that it's all about being open to hearing other perspectives, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. I couldn't agree more. You're right.
Do you say that to your wife a lot?
To my horn here.
That's just automatic.
No, she is right.
No, she is, but
yeah, it's just like that, and then people can't seem to disagree peacefully. So what else?
We just have to work on it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a struggle. I mean, it's even in everyday life, even with your significant other. Like, I mean, you know, sometimes me and Steven get into arguments, and it's like I have a different perspective, and you just have to try to listen to the other side and try to learn from it and see where they're coming from.
But you have an incentive to do that, or not even an incentive, but you have a reason because that's your guy.
Right.
True. That's true.
And it's even hard then.
It is. I think it's
so
harder.
Why would you do it?
I think it's harder too.
It is harder because you know
love that person,
right?
Yeah,
right.
You want to be on the same page, but you also have to understand. Again, same thing. Learn how to disagree. Mm-hmm. Like,
peacefully.
No one is going to 100% agree with you.
Different people.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So just learn how to disagree, and hopefully the main values, as long as those are the same, it's fine. Mm-hmm. The little stuff, I mean, it's not a life or death situation. It's fine.
Right.
But you should absolutely talk about it. I don't know why politics should be off the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
And Hope said something earlier today too when we were driving here that why aren't people talking, even just if it's your family, why aren't people talking about politics? Why aren't you? So even if it's something like she said, you know, to learn from what if another person has another side or a view, why aren't we talking about it? So you can just learn it and say, okay, all right, that kind of opened my mind to it.
That's actually my next question.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Hope.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's I think that's the huge hurdle that we have to go over, is because a lot of people, you were brought up, don't talk about politics during family outings, but who are you supposed to talk to about? I mean, yeah, you can talk about your friends, but most likely you're only friends because you have the same opinion.
Right.
So
yeah, friends don't want to disagree.
No, friends don't want to disagree. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to find someone, even if it's just one person in your family, close the door, have a genuine conversation, and try to learn something from it. Mm-hmm. Don't just have it just to argue because you feel something and you want to change someone's opinion. Don't go in and be like, I'm going to change this person's opinion tonight. No, just be like, why don't we just actually talk about it, and you're going to feel better about getting stuff off your chest because you always think about, oh, I wish I could have that conversation with this person. Why don't I just have it, get it over with, and actually try to learn something from it? Be like, my intention is to learn something and I want to get better. Mm-hmm. And I want to go through that with you.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys comfortable? And I assume you are, so that's maybe a silly question, but in order, because it seems like you guys are willing to have those conversations.
Always.
If it happens. So do you think that's because you guys are comfortable being who you are? Like, are you comfortable? This might be weird. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are you comfortable being a white person? Do you feel any kind of pressure because you're white, or are you just okay just being yourself? You know, or is that?
I always feel the pressure, and I always want to, though.
From who?
Myself, because I think everyone, for some reason, looks at me and thinks, like, look at this girl that has it all, and I still go through
basic white bitch.
Basic white bitch shit. I mean, that's...
And you don't want that label. Is that what you're saying?
I don't mind the label, but don't think that I'm just like this huge Republican pumpkin spice latte loving person. Like, I don't...
I mean, you do...
No, I don't like pumpkin spice. That's not mine. Don't put it on me, because that's not me.
I'm just kidding.
But that's what they look... I mean, that's what they look at. I mean, even my job now, they're just like, this girl that dresses up on Fridays when we're supposed to wear jeans. I'm like, yeah, because I have something I have to do tonight. Like, don't judge me. You don't know what I'm doing? Don't think just because I'm a white person, I just think that all black people are bad. Like, I don't know, or any.
So do you get, like, weird comments?
When Trayvon Martin got shot, I went to Target. My card had just been hacked. So I only had cash and $100 bills from wherever we worked, because that's the only credit union I had for my bank at the time. And so I only had $100 bills. This lady that was a cashier, she was a black lady, older, and the verdict just came out that he was not guilty. And she absolutely ignored me. She would not talk to me.
Oh, okay.
And she talked to the black lady behind me, asked her how her day was going. She didn't want to talk to me, and I understood that, and I was fine with it. Until I had to bring out my $100 bills, and I felt really judged. And I was like, well, someone stole my credit card or my card, and I only had cash. But then I look like this basic white bitch that has $100 bills. And it absolutely, I mean, that's the epitome of how I feel all the time.
Do you know why we feel that way sometimes?
Yeah, I'm sure I do, but I don't want to be that person.
I know, she's projecting, or...
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But yeah, that was awful.
But it's like... You can kill us and get away with it.
Absolutely. But yet when someone is bombing my city and putting random bombs in people's doorsteps, and he still was going to be taken alive and he blew himself up, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it. Why?
That's a good point.
You're blowing up my city. Absolutely not.
That's a good point, Hope Bell.
You can just send my name out there. Okay.
I can fix it.
Are you sure? Okay.
I really can.
Okay.
That's a good point. So do you feel any kind of pressure, or are you just kind of just moving through life? Like, are you comfortable? I know it kind of puts you on the spot. But are you just moving through life? Do you feel pressure to be any kind of way? I mean, you come off to me as very, I wouldn't ever think you would not tell me your opinion about something. So I think you're moving through life being you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that right?
So. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't,
like you're speaking at that party.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes I can't bite my tongue and it gets me into trouble.
But that's also white girl privilege. We can talk however we want in certain settings, for sure.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Right. But yeah, I mean, in that perspective, yeah, I understand what you're saying for sure. We don't have the same, if something
consequence.
Like, right. Correct. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, I kind of am, and I'm me, and I mean, if I try not to upset people, that's kind of more so like I'll not say something, I'll try to hold in, and I get to a certain point where if there's something that's or I'll try to convert a conversation if it's going to a point where I don't like where it's going and I know where it's going and I'm going to open my mouth if we don't convert it to a different type of conversation. But I mean, I'll say it. And I just, we had something that happened, and I don't want to go into details just because
it's going to be very long.
Well, not even that, but I just don't want it to be something to where it's going to, they'll know where we're going with it. But the type of conversation was something that was going to a racist perspective, and I knew exactly where it was going, and it's one of those things where, you know, I try to be nice, and I don't want to upset people, and I don't want to be mean about things. And you get me to a certain point, and I can only hold in so much before I word vomit all over everything, and I get emotional about it. So I will try to convert conversations to certain ways, because it's like I know where something's going, and I don't even want to have that weight on me, because it'll carry a weight on me, and it'll upset me for days.
But then I hear it about for 3 days straight.
She does.
She gotta let it out.
Right. I do. Exactly. So I think that's more so for me. Like if it's a situation where I am myself, and I am, I'll say how I think, but I'm not going to start an argument with somebody that I know it's going to go nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like if I can already kind of tell that this is where it's
You're
going,
I'm not going to change their mind.
Right.
Nope.
I'm not even going to waste my time, because it's not going to get me anywhere but them upset and me upset, and maybe other people upset that we're having this conversation.
Yep.
So unfortunately, that is sometimes the pressure. And speaking as a white person, if you are around people that are racist, it's
uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. And
do they assume that you agree with them?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. And it's
hard.
It's very frustrating, because I'm so sorry. It really upsets me. And it will bother me for days and the fact, and it bothers me that I sometimes, it's like, why didn't I say that? Why didn't I speak up and say, why would you even say that? But at the same time, it's also on that same level of, it's not even worth my time.
Let me even tell you why though.
My wife deals with that a lot. She's like, why didn't I say something there? And like, well, so she struggled.
Because that's how we're taught.
To not say anything?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
Why do you think they're all quiet on Facebook? That's why. It's so hard. Because you have to juggle it.
Yeah.
And the only way to change it, I guess, would be to speak about it.
Yeah. We're quiet.
Yeah.
But
There's
guess
a lot,
what?
right? There's
We're going to vote, though.
Yes.
Have a great day.
You think we're going to do well?
I think so.
I hope to God.
I think they're going to be so surprised. Even though we're quiet, I mean, people are enough riled up that I think we can absolutely make a change. If we want, if it is a priority to people to actually vote, you can register all day long, but you need to vote.
We need somebody. We need
You talking about like for like you talking about the presidential election?
Well, I'm not even. That's too far. I need to worry about what's happening right now.
Well,
because why are we so concerned about presidential at this point? He's already in it. Let's worry about what's going on right now and worry about what's happening in our cities, in our judicial system, and everything like that. Let's worry about that right now, because that's a priority.
Yeah, because if we are able to take the House and the Senate, then
Absolutely.
I think they've already conceded that they're going to lose the House. I don't know if that's accurate.
I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed. Don't ever think it's guaranteed, because everyone thought the same thing about the presidential. Go freaking vote.
Yes, everybody. Whatever you believe.
Oh yeah, whatever you believe, it's fine.
Right.
Fuck that. Vote Democrat.
Don't say that.
You're gonna tune people out, Matt. You're gonna tune them out. You gotta keep it.
Just go vote.
You gotta keep it open.
Express your American right of voting.
Right.
Either way, you should look at the people. I mean, Melissa and I were talking about this. We absolutely need to do our homework and figure out what other people actually are doing. Even though they're Democrat, doesn't mean they're doing the same thing that we agree with.
Right.
And just because they're Republican doesn't mean that they're doing the exact same thing that we don't agree with as well. So
You're absolutely right.
And I think just do your research.
Right.
Don't be lazy about it.
And why don't we go in as an independent? Say, I am going to research what each side and each person is saying. You know what I mean?
You're an American first. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You can say you're Republican or Democratic all day long, but when something bad happens, you're always an American, and you should always figure out who you want to represent yourself, no matter what it is.
Right. That's why I say I don't claim one side or the other. I say I'm just you know what I mean?
I hate those words.
An independent. Like that's why I'm saying, like, I just be open to educating yourself on each person and specific person, what they vote for, what they like. And if you agree with their views, then great. If it's a Republican, great. Vote for them. If they're a Democrat, great. Vote for them. If they're an independent, great. whatever you want. Who cares? Just
It's not who cares. It's just do your research.
Right.
Do you see? Have you guys heard about this? The governor race in somewhere in Georgia, where the Republican guy just like purged like 53,000 voters because he claimed that some of their information didn't match up, and they're like predominantly, if I'm getting this right, like African American. So he like removed. He's the guy running for governor. I don't remember his name, but he's also in charge of the like the voting committee or
That's
something.
That's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah, why is that happening?
No,
right.
It is, and you can look it up.
I'm under a rock right now, so I don't know.
He's the governor, and he's also in charge of like voting something. So it is a conflict of interest. So he just purged all these people who can vote against him.
Oh.
So it's
like,
like
that makes
fair.
sense.
That's so fair.
So when they're doing stuff like that, I'm like,
And what do you do?
Why? And
I mean, if that's a battle that we'll have to face, and that's what we'll have to face. But at this point, like, I'm like all about winning the war at this point of like trying to figure out the people that are good in our interest.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do you think so much of this bad behavior has found a home in the Republican Party?
That's a really loaded question.
Yeah.
It seems like all the and I can't. I'm not gonna say everybody because I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't blanket statement that.
I can't do everybody, but it seems like a lot of the stuff that's happening, like this guy doing this, the crooked, messing with the votes, the Roy Moore thing, Trump. Why is this stuff finding a home in the Republican Party?
Because they want to believe in something. They want to believe in something that has their interests at heart, I think. And I have to look into that whole voting thing because I don't like to comment about stuff that I really don't know about.
Yeah, that's fine.
But because I really like to do my research, and especially with stuff like this. But in regards to the behavior and letting it happen, I think they just wanted to believe in something and change something, and not giving excuses. It's just, I think it was a hard decision based off of what my family said. It's been a hard decision for them, but I mean, they vote however they want to vote. But they still take it as what's the best interest for them and their family.
Do you think Trump has their best interest?
In my opinion.
mine?
Who are we talking about?
I mean, it depends.
Do you own a big corporation?
Are they wealthy?
Yeah.
Some.
Are you really wealthy?
Because Dave Chappelle made a joke. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I have. I watched Dave Chappelle. I love him.
He said like he said he knew Trump was going to win because he would be at the polling sites, and I'm going to get this wrong, but he was saying that he would see the like white rural Americans showing up in droves to vote for Trump, and he was like. He's not trying to help y'all.
Because they thought they were going to lose.
No.
He's like not trying to help y'all. He's trying to help me. Because he's rich.
But see, that's not the problem. The problem is they try to make it so simple, but it's not. Politics is not simple. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why are you looking at Hillary Clinton and be like, she just wants to take all our guns away? It's not that simple.
No, she's not.
Well, don't even say no, she's not. It's just that's literally what they do is like. They make
focus on one tiny thing.
Correct.
Right.
And that's
right.
the thing that sticks in their mind. And I don't even want to say it's dumbing it down. It's just being lazy and thinking about, well, this is what she stands for. This is what I've been told that she stands for.
You said dumbing it down.
I don't know.
No, don't say
I don't
that.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I just think it's making it lazy enough
Yeah.
to where people are just reading the top 5 things that she stands for and just be like, this is the reason what she stands for.
Right. Or like, if it's something as simple as, Republicans typically vote for abortion, and I don't believe in abortion, so I'm going to vote Republican because, you know what I mean? It's
that's why people say I'm
simple...
Republican, and I hate that. I was like, that doesn't make you Republican. That just means that you don't believe in abortion.
Right. That's one part of...
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's so many other things that you can have opinions on, but yet they're like, well, it's, again, priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
they have this whole idea of what America should be and why it should be that way. But again, tradition doesn't mean it's the right way. So, and again, my opinion, we should be evolving with the world, and the world is only going to be evolving, and it's going to take, I mean, you're worried about Americans and Americans that are in America that live here. But think about the whole entire world that's evolving around you, and they're just going to swallow us whole at that point, and we're just going to rely on everyone else. Is that really what America is about? No. So worry about that stuff. Get someone that actually knows what they're doing and actually can build America up, and worry about our own people so we can actually help other people around the world and not look for other people helping us.
Good answer.
Thanks. I told you I did my research.
Don't look out, look within.
Yeah. Look within. Figure out
Be
how
the
to...
hero.
Yes. Be your own hero and then help someone else. Then it just spreads.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I sure did.
What was that?
Just a car.
Okay.
Showing off.
That was really it. I think we kind of covered everything. Like, you guys naturally just went into my, like, the next few questions or things I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Like, the last thing on my list was, what advice do you have for people in general? And you've already kind of answered that, where you were just saying, you know, everybody's just people, you know.
Empathy. We need it. We need to look at that more.
But just don't be empathetic for your own race. Like, come on.
Right. Be open. Learn.
Like, I don't understand why... I hate when people say, well, I'm just older and wiser. So? You still don't know everything. Still learn.
Yeah.
I still have great grandparents. Like, I just know everything. No, you don't.
Just because you're old doesn't mean you know.
They're my best friends, and I love them. They're like 90 years old, but still, like, you don't know everything. I mean, I know you've been through they've been through everything, but yet it doesn't mean you know everything. There's still things. I mean, they're on Facebook. I mean, they know how to work a lot of stuff.
That's pretty impressive.
I know, right? They know how to text and everything, but it doesn't mean you know everything. And so, and I think that's wrong with their generation. They think they just know everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think empathy. I think that's really it.
You think it's just empathy?
Well, okay, so, and we can wrap up here. We're about done.
Okay.
So, yes, I think that is the basis, like, to start, like, I see you looking at me.
I don't agree.
So, like, be humane. The reason I've attached to this so strong is because I think that's the solution for every problem in the world. And what I mean is, if you approach every situation with humanity, be humane, whether that's people or the planet, I think that's the perfect place to begin. And you build on that. If that has to be your basis. Like, your goal can't be financial. It can't be whatever your agenda is. If it's what's best for people, what's best for the planet, I think that's where you begin. Yeah,
but I mean, you have to think about these people. They're baby boomers. Like, they think about... I mean, that's what the 50s, they were thinking about how to keep up with the Joneses. Like, that's all that mattered to them, is like how to make money, how to have a good job, and how to have something stable.
Like I said, those are the wrong motives.
That's what I'm saying. Tradition is not always key at this point. And then even just like be humane, like be a human and understand that other people are human. They make mistakes. Like Beto, like he had a DWI, and I'm so against that. But for something that he really sticks for, and to be empathetic and be an actual human being, like, he is the definition of a human being. Someone that
try to hide it,
and he doesn't try to hide it. That's what I'm saying.
None of us are perfect.
And he learned from it. He made a mistake and he learned from it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I look at this, and I love looking at my bracelet all the time, it's like not only being empathetic to people and thinking about where they came from, but just understand that they're just a human being, and take it as that. Respect them as a human being. And understand that you are also a human being. And not only just because you made mistakes in the past, you can be better. You can change any time of the day if you want to.
And I mean, and just put yourself into other people's shoes, you know.
Yeah.
If I were in this situation, if I learn about it, you know, if this were me, if I, you know, had this, you know, if I'm trying to think of a situation, if, you know, I don't know, if your kid had cancer and you had to do whatever you needed to do to get, you know, this, you know, them the treatment that they needed, like what would it be that you would do? You know, whatever the situation is, if you know, and if
even if you can't even think about how they're feeling at that point, just respect it.
right.
You can't even imagine. I couldn't
Right.
even imagine having a
No.
kid with cancer.
Right.
But I respect that you're going through it and you're still here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And learn from it. Talk to them and you see if there's any, you know what I mean? Get their perspective. See what they're going through. See, you know, like with us talking, you know, with you being a black person, going through all the situation, all this stuff, the racial injustice we talk about at work, just situations that you went through growing up and different scenarios that you've had, and just learning from the other person, getting that perspective and just trying to put yourself in that person's shoes to try to get a better understanding. Like, what did you grow up with? How, you know what I mean? And then, so like today, we had the conversation about your older brother. Mind blown. Like, I was just like, I just can't imagine having to deal with that as a young child and having to go through some of that stuff.
But
And-
just us having that conversation,
Right.
you now, you know,
Just listen.
you know more
Right.
about people.
Right.
Like, oh my God, there's a person like that out there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just
right.
listen, because I mean,
Yeah.
you just never know. And you might not even understand it, but just like listen and then, again, respect it.
But we're somewhat comfortable with each other, so we're able to have that conversation.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that just comes from people, I guess, you would just being friends and being friendly and polite and listening and
Being human.
being a human.
Being human. We're all humans.
Okay, you see how this can go so long?
Yeah.
Because you get to talking,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Now, let me be honest. Did you forget we were doing the podcast at any point?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
I can drink all the wine, but I know.
Okay. Okay.
Just a typical day for us too.
And
though.
she's driving, right? Who drove?
No, I did.
So
I
you're
did.
just going to town.
Right. Right. I've milked this one little glass of wine.
I'm
for
just
the
like,
last
give it
3
all
hours.
to me.
Give me all the wine.
Yes.
So how did this go for you guys? Was this okay?
Perfect.
Was it all right?
Yeah.
It's everything I wanted.
Stop it.
No, seriously.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm serious. We touched
You said
all
that
the
too
topics I
quick.
wanted to. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can obviously talk about. If you want to talk about guns, if you want to talk about women, whatever, I'm here.
I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's fine.
I was nervous.
Of course you
my
would
hands
be.
were so sweaty.
You would be. I mean, I've been doing this kind of thing since I was 18, so this comes very natural to me, and I'm very comfortable, obviously.
Can I do it every day?
She wants to come every Friday.
I love it. I just want
So,
to live
yeah.
closer.
So I can't. I don't even know how to express this, but I'm very. Thank you.
You're welcome. How much did you learn today? Is what I want to know.
I definitely learned. I can't tell you how much I've learned, but
Or like, what did you? Yeah.
What were you surprised about,
Yeah.
or was there anything that did surprise you?
okay. So what did surprise me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
'Kay.
It sounds like you're a Republican,
I was.
and you still kind of hold some of those values.
It depends.
Is that because I'm just assuming here, are you a Christian? Are you religious? Is that a God thing? Is that a Jesus thing? Is that,
I don't
Is it
know.
a
Why do you put God with?
fiscal?
are you wondering as well? Or
Why do you?
I'm just curious because
I don't even know. I don't even know what Republican values are anymore.
Right.
Because they've changed so much.
Yes.
When I don't even. I wouldn't even. Back in the day, yes, but back in the day, if they were what they are now, probably not.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yes.
Because they weren't what they are today. It's just been so radicalized that I just don't even understand.
Well, growing up, I was brought up in a Christian home, in a Pentecostal home, and we were raised Republican.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it.
Well, you should. I'm not either, but I still talked about it.
You know, like a black Republican is like saying,
So?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It's not a bad word.
To us because it doesn't appear that they have our best interest in mind.
Do they have anyone's besides the rich?
No.
Exactly.
But they really don't care about us.
I understand that. But that's also because...
and that's why...
Back in the day, though, Republicans were more American.
Are you talking about before the switch?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When Republican Party was Democrats were Republicans.
Right.
I can't tell you when that happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
that's what
Abraham
I'm saying.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
And all that. So I don't know when the switch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is Republican and what is Democrat at this point? What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
All I know is that, and I can help me if I'm wrong here. It just appears that I really want to use this word
No, you
I
can
feel
just
like
use the
I
word.
feel like it
Let it
needs to
out.
be used. It feels like all the fuck shit
Okay.
is happening with the
Not what I
Republicans.
expected.
I'm not saying the Democrats are doing anything wrong. I'm not saying they're spotless. I'm not saying any of that.
No one's spotless.
I'm just saying it seems like all the fuck shit is happening with them, and
Well, I wouldn't even put that on them. I would just say, like, Donald Trump is fuck shit.
yes,
Like, I just, at this
and
point.
the fact that they won't stand up to him,
because they voted
makes
for
me
him.
respect them even less.
It's pride. It's
You know,
so
and
much
I'm like-
pride. If Barack Obama would have failed, still people to this day would have tried to back him up because they really believed in him. I think
Because
either
I think
way,
his motives were obviously different,
right.
in my opinion.
Right.
If you really listened to Trump, and I was like really hoping, like even if he became president, which I never thought would even happen, if you really look back at what he was saying beforehand, before he was president, it actually gave me hope. Your Beyonce's going.
So you can answer that, but you got to unplug it unless you want to start the conversation.
No. Wait.
He would say liberal things.
Trump.
I thought he was a Democrat at one point.
He was.
You know,
He used to be
Taking
really
a
good
picture with
friends
Hillary
the
Clinton.
Clintons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's like, what is Republican? You really don't understand until, like, you're just like, I'm Republican. I was like, what does that really mean, though?
But Trump
means that you're trying to kill black people.
Trump is a chameleon, though. Trump says what he needs to say to get what he wants.
But
at
doesn't
that
even back his
moment,
own party.
And then 5 minutes later, if it doesn't benefit him, then it changes.
It's so annoying.
It's very
like, just
annoying.
figure out your
It's
own
whiplash,
shit.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's why he's a fuck shit, because he doesn't know what he's doing.
you can't trust him.
No.
Okay, and we kind of touched on it. I don't mean to get back into all this, and we were trying to end the podcast.
I mean, really, who cares?
But Roy Moore and a lot of these other people, I'm just like, why is all the fuck shit finding a home over there? I mean, it does
do you
not
mean?
help the Republican agenda, whatever it may be, or the image of Republicans. I don't know how they are or what they look like to you. Mm-hmm. I know how they look to me, and I hear that word, and the first thing I go is yes, you know.
It's just like this.
I'm like chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a musical and they go like bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like you guys, you know, you're trying to take healthcare away from people. You're trying to kill people. You're separating families at the border. Like not that there was like anything that they were doing that was okay, but like if somebody tried to separate me from my son, I can't imagine.
But see, I think some
that
like
I wouldn't try to
Republicans-
kill them.
I see. This is where my family comes into play. Is that a lot of them were really against that, and they did not like that at all. And
But
I
they
don't-
didn't really stand up to it.
White people, we're quiet. Sorry,
But isn't that like co-signing?
no. I mean, I agree with you, yes, but in white people terms, no.
I don't know what that means.
In white people's terms, just because you're quiet doesn't mean you're not against it. Because they only spoke
But
up
aren't you co-signing? Quietly?
Yeah, but they don't understand that they are. In some aspects, they don't understand. Because when I posted about, like, why would you do this, I had so many family members that would comment on my Facebook, like, we don't stand for this. We don't stand for this. We hate this. Why are they doing this? I'm like, then why don't you actually tell them that you don't stand for it? But that's white people,
If
though.
somebody tried to separate you from Lily.
I mean, even if
She
if
knows.
it were, so I think part of it too. I think also part of it is that people because it's not directly affecting them. It comes down
That
to
too.
because it's not directly affecting them, they don't care. And I think again it comes down to empathy too. Imagine how hard they forget that. Imagine how terrible the situation must have been for you to think, I'm going to go to America and I know what's happening there, but it's better. The chance of me separating from my child is better than where I'm at now. Like that has to have been the worst situation ever, and people forget about that, and they don't forget about. They just don't know it.
I don't think people forget about it. I think there's some people. This is where I think it's different. I think people actually think like if they have kids and are empathetic, they really do think about their kids being separated. Like how would I feel about it? And a lot of people were torn on this as Republicans,
yes,
based off of my conversations with people that are Republicans.
I was shocked too by that.
Absolutely. But there are some people like that woman got fired and everything. I just think that they just literally they think they're so cool and they try to like voice their opinions. Do you know the girl that like put it on Facebook and she got fired from her job? So she said that they all should get a shot on the border on the spot. Did you not hear about that? And she got fired?
Of course she would. Why would you say that?
I don't. But again, those types of people, they think, again, their circle is so closed in that they really don't understand. So that's normal to them. That's normal to them. Because that's literally their conversations.
That's crazy.
I know.
I can't.
But that literally happened.
You guys ever
I forgot
heard
who she worked for, like the post office or something. Like literally, like something like that.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I can't remember
Have
what
you ever
it was.
heard? God, why did we get back into this?
Sorry. There's so many things to talk about.
Have you ever heard of cognitive dissonance?
Let's talk about it. I don't know.
No, we don't have to talk about it, but it's just where, in order for you to do something horrible to another human being, you have to justify it somehow.
Yeah.
And you have to say, this person isn't a human. This person deserves that behavior.
Because of whatever.
Because as a human, you have people in your life, no matter how bad you are, you have people you love.
Yeah.
You love someone, right? And so you're capable of loving another human being. So in order to do something horrible to another human being, you have to do something to them in your mind to make that doable.
Yeah.
What did that black person do to get shot by that cop?
Because he's black, and he probably is part of a gang.
Wrong?
He's probably in a gang, and his family's probably awful, and they're in other stuff. They probably have other criminal offenses and everything. That's why.
It couldn't be
like that's
he
what
didn't
they think.
do anything,
right.
but just be black.
Right. Or he was at a party and the cop showed up and he was running from the cop and
shot him in his back.
And somebody got shot in the back for driving away in a vehicle, which is really sad. Like come on. It's the word, and I'm not trying to blast cops here because I have the utmost respect for them, and I feel like they put their lives on the line every single day, and I absolutely I respect that and I love that. But at the same time, why would you be shooting at a vehicle that's driving away? For kids, you're going to this and you're thinking this is a kid's party. This is a high school party.
You talking about that killed the kids?
Yeah. The cop that just got was found guilty. He didn't get a lot of time, but he was found guilty because the body camera footage showed that the car was driving away.
You can't do that. But you'll get some white people be like, well, what did they do wrong? Why did they flee?
Right. Because the reason why we get pulled over is we're obviously doing something wrong. And that's the whole thing of like putting yourself in the situation. They only get pulled over because they're doing something wrong. They're not getting pulled over because they're black. And so for them to actually
white, you should say.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
You're not getting pulled over because you're white.
Because you're white. And so what they think is when you see something pulled over, you're probably doing something wrong because that's the only time they get pulled over.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
That's the only that's literally, I think about that all the time. Like, why do we think that way? Mm-hmm. And I still think that way to this day.
Clip up on Instagram, by the way.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But really, it's because you try to put yourself in other people's shoes, and because that's the human thing to do. Mm-hmm. But they literally think, well, why would I get pulled over? Mm-hmm. Well, as a white person, it's because I probably did something wrong.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I lost my thought.
Sorry.
I was just something about like there was a period of time because I went through all of this with my wife.
Yeah. I haven't watched that full one yet.
Well, we didn't talk about this, but we're going to. But we went through all of this where there was a time me and her fought and had a lot of headbutting on black and white issues.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And we had to go through it, and I had to be patient with her. And there were points in time where I was like, this is not going to work out.
Marriage.
She'll tell you, like, I was like, this is, I would call my mom and dad, like, this isn't going to work.
Hashtag
like,
marriage.
She doesn't get it, you know, like I'm trying to explain this shit to her. And like, I don't know what it was. It may have been the kid in Cleveland, Tamir Rice.
Yeah.
That got shot by the cops. If you watch the video.
Yeah, sure did.
They shot him within like seconds of pulling up. There was no like trying to figure out what was going on or anything. And they shot this 12-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you never watch that?
No,
I've watched that a million times.
Are you talking about the little kid that had
He had a little toy gun.
The toy gun, right.
And they just they killed him immediately. And it was, I don't know if it was that one, but it was like that or another one where she was like.
Well, there's the other one too where the cop was chasing after her, like he was like this older white bigger cop, and he was this black guy was running away from something, and the cop just literally was shooting him in the back, like over and over and over and over. It was the most awful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Okay,
awful.
This was the point I was thinking about is for some reason, and again, I'm not trying to rag on cops. That's absolutely not what I'm trying to do. But what I do want to point out is it seems like we are aware. Black people are aware that they are just people doing a job. They're not superheroes. They're just people.
Right.
It appears to a lot of us that white people seem to attach this kind of superhero mentality to cops, like they're up here, they're special, they're doing, you know.
They have more privileges due to the law,
but
I don't think white people see them as privileged. I mean, in my opinion, for someone that has cops in their family, I don't see them as that.
They're just people. That's the only point I'm trying to make, is that they're I'm like, can you just admit that they're flawed?
Right, they make mistakes.
They're just people.
Right. And I will say this for a cop. When it comes to any sort of shooting or anything like that,
Could you imagine that being your job, though?
No, I could never do it. No, absolutely not. I have the utmost respect for the police. I will, and this may get me in trouble. This may make people upset, but for me personally, I will give the officer the benefit of the doubt to start with. I educate myself on everything, the entire situation that happened. Mm-hmm. I learned, okay, so what is the cop saying that happened? What was the reality that happened? What does the body camera show? What does the evidence show? And at that point in time, if the evidence shows that cop did something that he was not supposed to do, and that caused the death of somebody, then you have to suffer the consequences.
You gotta own up to that.
You should be owning up to it. You should be telling the truth about what happened and own up to it. And if that means that you go to jail for what you did, I mean, that's part of also the job that you signed up for too.
But I think that also
have the utmost respect for them, and I put them on, we do put them on a pedestal, which I think that we should, because they put their lives on the line every day for us, to a certain extent. But they put their lives on the line. We can't have a society
without cops.
We can't.
You gotta have cops.
Can't.
Right. But we
there's some people that don't believe that, but I cannot.
You gotta have cops.
Right.
You have to.
But it's one of those things where, you if you do something wrong, you're going to have to take and accept the consequences for your actions. And, it's unfortunate that guy that killed the most recent one in Texas, where the black kid was fleeing from a high school party, which we've all gone to. And if the cops show up, what do white people do? You flee when you're 16. You flee in cars, you run away. You shouldn't be getting shot for it. Right.
I think everyone has, though. I have. I think every person has.
But should we die for running from cops?
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's just one of those things where if you do something wrong, then you're going to have to accept it. And I don't know if maybe that's
But I
what
think
it
that's
is.
an
That's why I just
investigator
feel
thing.
like
I don't know. Like, again, I don't think I really thought about that way until I became an investigator and actually like tried to think about every aspect of it. Because I mean, as a white person, you just look at it and be like, try to put myself in that situation. What did they do wrong? Mm-hmm. Why are they there? Mm-hmm. You know,
right?
You probably did something wrong because that's the only reason
Right.
why I got the cops called on me before. Like. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can I tell you real quick?
Yeah.
When the shooting happened in Dallas where all the cops got killed,
yeah.
That next morning, every black person I knew was scared to fucking death.
That made me so sad because
I didn't want to leave my apartment. That Amy was like, I don't think you should go to work today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were like, they're going to be mad. You know, and they're going to be looking for black people.
I don't agree. I mean, my grandfather was a Dallas cop. So
well, I'm not saying this is reality. I'm just saying this is what was going on in our heads.
Absolutely.
Right,
we were all terrified.
Right. Yeah.
Every black person I knew was like, we were driving to work going the speed limit. We were.
I remember you telling me that.
Don't kill me.
Yeah.
Amy was scared to death for so long. And it's subsided now to a degree, but just like every day I would leave the house, she would look at me, and you could just see it in her eyes. She was just like, "I hope you come home."
Oh my God, that is the worst. So scary. That is the worst.
I mean, I never look at my husband like that, other than like obviously he does crazy stuff sometimes with swimming with sharks. But other than that, I mean, I just don't look at him like that, and I feel so bad, like just thinking about
because that's a reality for us. Because that's very possible.
Right. Exactly. I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I don't, and I am in a way like it's just like. That's like a whole reality that I was like, I never had to live with. Mm-hmm. I mean, I did with some extent because I've always dated Mexicans in my life. And I always thought they were going to get deported.
That was something else I wanted to ask you guys, but I didn't want to ask it because I know you guys are both married. Or, I mean, you're getting married.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about ex-boyfriends.
No.
Okay. But I mean, I worried about that. I worried about deportation. I still worry about ex-boyfriends. About deportation.
Okay,
I feel
we don't
so
have to go into that.
Thank
you for doing the podcast, guys.
Oh my God, are you done? Okay, bye.
We are this is actually the longest podcast I've had.
Because we're cool.
That's right.
We are going on 2 hours. I'm gonna have to break this up into 2 parts.
Yeah.
We are 2 hours and 6 minutes.
This is what happens when you give white girls wine, and then
Sorry.
we just talk and don't stop and don't shut up.
I'm gonna have to make this a 2-parter because I can't have a 2-hour podcast.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna listen to that.
I know.
I'm gonna have to break it up into an hour each.
Okay.
So I'm saying you guys are gonna consume 2 weeks now.
You're welcome.
Break for you. You're welcome.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I don't have to record anybody next week. So.
Okay, bye. I was like, we can do the white girl. Right. Okay, bye.
Bye. LOL, bye.
I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but would you guys ever consider doing this again?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now, don't say that just because,
Why would you think
the cameras are on and I'm here.
No, I don't
sleep. I'm
about
not fucking do that again.
I haven't even looked at the camera. Oh, you don't think of that much.
You said what?
I don't even think I've looked at the camera at this.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to look at it. It's just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't put it out.
Like my head's like this way the whole entire time. Like, oh yeah, that's there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and end it. So I'll put on the end music. I don't have like end music. I just play like random music I make.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was informative and educational to those of you who are listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you subscribe, thank you for following us on Instagram. And I hope to see you next week. Actually, no, I'm sorry, the week after next, because this is so long. I'm going to have them on for 2 weeks.
I'm so sorry.
So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys are silly. Okay, bye.
You turned it off.